Um, so Amber, if you want to chime in, we don't mind little ones. I think most of us have kids here. It's totally fine. I don't know. It's weird to me when I don't have like dogs barking and all that stuff. So it makes me feel right at home, actually. So you guys have all reached Diamond. So that's awesome. Huge deal. Great. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. I know Andy's been here for a minute, right? Yeah, Andy? Is he for, yeah, okay. So we want to push you guys to 1 star, okay? 2 star, 5 star, wherever you want to go, okay? We want you to go to the top. We want you to reach your goals. If Diamond is your goal, that's totally fine. Obviously it's not since you're here. So I want to know what you guys are doing now to attract people. And I know, Sarah, we have kind of talked about this today earlier on our mastermind. But I want to know what you guys are doing to attract people and to looking at your social media or even outside of your social media. I know that Andy doesn't necessarily build through Facebook the most. So what do you guys do for that? How have you gotten to this point so far?
So I've developed, go
ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So I've made a branding course that I'm going to use as a lead magnet for people who are business owners or maybe personal trainers, and get that to convert them into coaches. That's been kind of my big long play, and
it's amazing.
I've helped a lot of people with it, and really dialed it into where I know it works. Now I just have to get distribution to people outside like Beachbody World and provide them value. And then if it makes sense for them to be a coach on my team, then great. And if not, I guess still go provide them value. But yeah, so that's kind of that's what will get me to 15 star rather than just a coach here or there. But that will be a pipeline that should get me, like if that starts running, I should get, I don't know what the big coaches do, like 10 coaches a month that are business builders.
So you're bringing people in through a different, it's not product based. It's a brand based thing.
Yeah. It's like a consulting based, I guess. So I help them with their brands. So if they're a personal trainer, maybe they're a great personal trainer, but not a super great business owner. So I provide them branding, business advice, and hey, if you add Beachbody, did you know like you could add more clients to your list or develop courses, or is that part of your brand? Are you interested in something like that? So we'll see what my conversion
now
rates
do you
are.
help like direct sellers if they came to you?
Well, so that's interesting because freaking wine virus and me having a little beef going on. But
yeah, I know, that's exactly why I brought it up.
yeah. So no, I want to. My branding course has its own brand, I guess, but I'm not interested in anything other than what I do. But I have had people have reached out to me. They just watch the way I market, and they're like, "Hey, how do I do that? How do I have your level of I don't know. Facebook seems to be like a really toxic place, so I really stand out when I'm not like that now. And people have seen that I'm adding so much value to people's lives, and they're not converting off of them, and so they're very curious. I get a lot of like, "Hey, would you help me?" Yeah, so something like that. But
awesome, I love it. Hey, what else do we do to attract people? Get where you've been.
I'm trying to be more active on just talking about coaching. That's what I was talking about today in our mastermind. So just being more open about why I coach and what it's done for me. And because I feel like recruiting has been kind of obviously my problem. I'm just not getting enough. So I get a lot of challengers, and then somehow I don't get them to convert to coaches. So I'm trying to figure out that piece too. Like, how do I take these great challengers that I've had for like 2 years and say, you should be coaching with me? These are people who also bring me referrals and stuff. So I'm always like, why isn't this obvious to you that you should be doing this? But I think it's too that I just don't talk very much about how it's changed my perspective on life now. So So I guess attraction marketing through my social media posts is what I'm trying to.
Yeah, and like we had said before, like you guys all in the diamond area, like you're running out of your warm market fast if you haven't already. Especially if the longer you're in it, the more your warm market runs out, right? And so just like Sarah was saying, you have to keep finding those people, and you have to, it's not just like, hey, cold invite, and then all of a sudden you're in my team. You kind of have to cultivate those relationships and turn your cold market into your warm market, right? That's where those relationships come from. They kind of follow you on Facebook for a while, but if they're creeping and they're just kind of in the background, you don't know they're there. So they know a lot about you, but you don't know anything about them. And that's where like questions come up, the groups and things like that. So how are you like your invite messages, how are they going? What did they look like when you invite people to your challenge groups or the coaching opportunity? What does that look like? And what works and what doesn't work? Because obviously if you've been here for a long time, there's something that may need to be tweaked a little bit if we're not getting workers.
Are you asking just everybody?
Yeah.
So I try to invite people that I know I've been talking to for a while, so it's not totally out of the blue. But a lot of times I'll say, I still know this is pretty random. I'll say like, I know this is random, but I'm running a group for 30 days, and it's to help moms that are busy find time for themselves. And I would love to have you join me. Does this sound like something you'd like to jump in on? So that's my usual challenge group invite. And then I go from there. And if they say, yeah, I want more information, then I start asking them questions about them first. So, and with coaching, I do kind of the same thing. I do coaching invites more on Instagram, just because I don't know why. I feel like I'm not as weirded out on Instagram. Like, I feel like a lot of the people on Facebook know me personally, but don't really know me. Like, we just see each other at the grocery store. So I'd rather invite them to a challenge group, and I feel like that's a lot less awkward. But then with coaching, I do it on Instagram, but I do about the same thing. And I just say, I've been following you and you're really inspirational. I think you'd be great at this. Have you ever thought about it? So.
And how is that received? Like if you could give me a rough percentage.
So when I do the coach invites, I get a lot of like, thank you so much. I'm so flattered, but it's just not for me.
But yeah.
And then I'm always trying to figure out where to go then. Like,
so does anybody have any suggestions on that? Like, is that something that you've run into, like trying to overcome those? Yeah, but. What was her name, Tiffany? Oh, Milner? That's right. Told you I wasn't gonna. Stuart, you think? Amber, you've been really quiet. How about you, love?
Well, I'm fairly new in how I got to Diamond was I just signed everybody as a coach initially. So I got there really fast, but then I was told by my upline that if I knew someone to sign him as a coach, I didn't even really have an understanding of how I would be getting paid or how that all worked out. So I had, 20 plus coaches immediately. And then, so now I'm having a hard time retaining. I'm just learning. So I need to figure out, I really would like to have coaches that actually want to work the business. The coaches that I have don't. I have a handful that do, but they're just kind of at a loss where to get started.
And that's totally typical. Diamond is the place to learn and grow. So you guys are in the perfect place to kind of experiment what works, what doesn't work, kind of hone in on your system. And of course, they're going to evolve over time. When Andy first started, he wasn't where he was now, right? I mean, Andy, you have like a humongous downline. Am I right? Like,
I don't have that big of a downline.
Okay. Well, it's your customer.
A lot of customers.
Okay, so it's your customer base that's huge, but it looks different now than it did, right? And your invites look different, and your systems look different. So of course they're going to evolve over time, and that's typical, and that's what we want to have happen because the market changes, Facebook changes, social media changes. All of the ways to contact people, it's going to change. So that's totally fine, and just know that you guys are in that spot right now where you're just getting a handle on it. So be patient, but at the same time, put yourself out there, right? Try those things. Just like Sarah was saying earlier today, she's like, I don't want to try anything different. And when I do, I try it once and then it doesn't work and then I don't do it again. Right? Isn't that what you said, Sarah?
Yeah.
And I came back with, okay, but if you try it once and it doesn't work, maybe it was a day nobody was on social media, right? Everybody took a day off. So you have to try it for 2 to 4 weeks to see if it actually works. Try different scripting, try different wording. Jen, can you tell us how your invites look? Are you in a spot where you can do that? Or
Yeah, I can try if you can hear me.
if you can't, it's totally fine.
So I had great success in December recruiting a really good crop of coaches that seem to want to work the business. So I'm looking at those people and how that happened. And 3 of them were definitely just through the Vital process, bringing them into my challenge groups, making them fall in love with the products and the process. And then it just organically happened and they were hooked. One of them is someone that I randomly met on Instagram, and she always posted about fitness, and we became friends that way. And then I invited her into a group. She didn't buy Shakeology. And then I invited her to coaching, and then that's when she started drinking Shakeology. So it goes to show that the Vital process to me is the best bet. I also have used, in order to form relationships, the Josh Coates kind of ADOS method that he teaches. I don't remember, what is her name? Is it Alexis Doss? Where she actively messages people on Instagram and creates relationships that way before she invites.
I love that. Josh Coates has a lot of good stuff, but I don't, I'm not super familiar with what he teaches. But I have heard of the DOS system. But that's great. And I love that you mentioned the Vital process, because we should all be practicing that. That's the best way to bring coaches in, because they already know about the product. They already love the product. They're a product of the product, and then they can share their love with other people. That's the best way to bring them in.
And the time and effort you have to put them into the onboarding process it's a lot easier because they already get it.
Exactly. And if you're running your challenge groups, like I think you're already giving them jobs. And so it's a really easy transition. Hey, you're already doing most of the behaviors that a coach is doing. So keep doing what you're doing, right? And so it's a lot easier for them to transition from challenger to coach because they're already doing those activities, right? So Vital process, absolutely critical. Challenge groups, absolutely critical. So Vital process, amazing. I wanted to go back to something that I don't remember who said it, but they were talking about invites. Something that you'll be interested in. I want to talk about the language of your invites. Okay. Now, when you go into a store, retail, car, otherwise, anything that has a salesperson, how does that interaction go? Andy, you've been quiet for a minute. Tell me what happens. And I'm not talking like Walmart. I'm talking about you go in, somebody greets you at the door. What happens?
Yeah, they're just, how can I help you? Yeah, is there anything I can help you find today? Something like that.
So you find a product, okay? Oh, hey, I like this watch, whatever it is. But, and then what happens? Don't you love my noises? I mean, that's like my trademark.
It's not quite right. The price isn't right. I have objections or something's not quite.
Okay, the salesperson
I'm not sold yet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The salesperson comes back with?
Well, they find out what I need. Like, what is the right, and what do I really need? How can they help me get what I want, essentially?
Exactly. Do they ever ask you a yes or no question?
No, I don't know. Probably not. I guess they sometimes, but
sometimes if it's like, do you like this color? Yes, no. Right? It always has to do with the product. Okay. Right? How can I make this work for you? What do you like about this product? What are the features you like about it? What exactly are you looking for? Right? So it's always based on the product. They're never going to let you say, are you interested in this? No. And then you walk out.
Right.
I mean, except for the kiosk people, and let's they're their own breed. We don't need to talk about that, right? Those guys drive me crazy. I'm always like pretending like I'm on my phone. I'm that girl. But they never let you say no, right? They never ask you a yes or no question. How do those work for you? Oh, I don't. How do they work for you? Not do they work for you? They're always asking you an open-ended question. So when you're saying things like, does that sound like something you'll be interested in? It's way too easy for them to say no, right? Don't use that language, okay? You want to hook them in. What are your goals? How can I help you? How can I help you reach your goals? What kind of workout do you like? Do you like core to force? This is the type of workout this is. What do you want to get out of this? And then the more you learn about that and the more you ask questions, the more that you're going to pull them in, right? And I heard this great, I can talk about that on the next one. But have you guys noticed that at all? Have you tried implementing that? Or do you just typically go, yes, no? Oh, well, they said no, blah.
So I've been trying to kind of go back to the people that say no and say, oh, can I ask you why you said no? Nobody has responded to me yet, but it took me a lot of guts to kind of do that though. So I'm just, because some people and I've gotten some where it's just like, I'm just not interested in Shakeology or Beachbody. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I barely mentioned it. So can you tell me why? So I've been trying that because I heard it on a Bonnie Engel call. So I figure she must know something because she's doing pretty well.
Mm.
And it's also just, I would love feedback from people that I'm inviting. Like, what was it about my invite that just didn't work for you? So somehow I'm trying to figure out how to ask people that. And I've lost my thoughts somewhere in this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So how do you guys find out? Like when I say like you need to find out the needs of people, how do you do that? When you start a conversation, how do you find out what they need? Because we're taking it back just a little bit. We're taking it before the step where they say no. How do you find out what they need? They talk to you. I mean,
So
go ahead, Andy.
my process is a little bit different. Rather than a lot of messaging or warming them up, like I've gone into places that are natural. People are looking for health and fitness, and tapped into their markets, right? So I do a lot of mutual referral based marketing, and so like I'll go into a chiropractors and, hey, can I help your clients? And these people are already interested in health and fit or getting healthy, right? And so what does somebody who visits a chiropractor need? A lot of them need to lose weight and increase their core strength to hold their muscle skeletal, right? And so what I offer is very right in line with that. So do they want part of my mission at that point? And so if I can make people curious, then when I start conversations, my closing rate is like 80 to 90%. Just because I have something that these people already want, and I just have to like sign them up at that point. But because I've done it the other way where, hey, message somebody out of the blue, get them thinking about it, going back. And I just, with my farming and stuff like that, I can't. I'm just not consistent enough. And I don't operate, I'm just not organized enough to have that. Like some of you guys are like checklists and boxes and all that, and you guys are way better at it than I am. And I haven't ever been able to get that stuff to work. But what I do is I am very convincing, if I can get you face to face or on the phone. And so if I can just really qualify and go into people that already want that, and enroll them in my mission, then the sign-up process is very natural. And a lot of my conversations, the first time I ever met them is like, hey, I'm going to be your coach. I can't wait to work with you. Let's talk about how I can help you. And it's like that. And that I did bring up like that 2,000 pound challenge, that's really working well. And if you guys are on this, just kind of wrapping our mission around that, and especially with coaches, because now instead of, hey, do you want there? Like, these people want to help me hit 2,000 pounds, right? And my little crews, we're up to 330 pounds right now. But so now it's like, hey, I'm going to start taking the weight, and it'd be like, hey, here's Michelle's contingency, right? Because she's broken off and started coaching, and so she has her first group, and as that's coming through, that's counting towards it. And so now they want to become coaches to kind of have this ripple go and all contribute to the 2,000 pounds to my one. And then I've created this hashtag 1% club. As people get to 20 pounds of weight loss, then they get to the 1% club. They've committed to 1% of the overall goal. And so people are really working hard to hit 20 pounds, because I do a lot of recognition around that. And I found that when people hit like 5-10 pounds, like, some people notice that and some people try to make a big deal, but when you hit 20 pounds, like, that gets a lot more attention as when they're just walking around their lives, right? So as people are really, really shooting for that 1% club and a 20-pound weight loss, they don't stop at the 5-10 pounds. And so when they hit that, it's a really great springboard conversation into, hey, do you want to be a coach? Because freaking you've gone from a size 16 to a size 10 by hitting the 1% club. And it's been so far really good. And I'm just getting started. Really, I've got 5 people in the 1% club already. But it's cool, and it's working. And I'm really excited to see how this continues to work. But it's all wrapped around this mission of this. I'm going to help Longmont lose a ton. My home, this lose a ton challenge and the 1% club. And so it's bigger than just them. It's part of this big mission, and part of the branding that I put around that. But come up with your own version of that, 100-pound challenge or 1,000-pound challenge. It's all of that is, I think, easier to get behind than just an accountability system, maybe. But.
Sure. Well, and I love what you said about you make them curious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a huge thing, because I know a lot of coaches, when I look on their Facebook, like, I don't see the word Shakeology, I don't see Quarter-Force, I don't see any mention of Beachbody, but they're working out, and I know what it is because I know the moves and whatever, you know what I mean? So it's piquing their curiosity. Oh, what is that? What do you do every day? Why is that? And so that opens the conversation, hey, want to know what I do? And then I saw another post today, and I felt kind of dumb because it was the first time I'd seen anything like this. And then my coworkers were like, oh yeah, well, all the coaches do this. So, but she had done the ultimate reset, and she had her before picture and her after picture, and she put results, and she put it right across the middle. So you couldn't see anything, but you had to go to her like page to see the picture. So I thought that was kind of sneaky and pretty clever, that she was driving traffic to her like page, and I thought that was great. So it's kind of something like that, like start a short video, finish it on your like page, or start a short video, or like some big reveal, tune back later today, and people, they'll forget about it. And then when they get back on and they see it, they're like, oh yeah. And then they comment on it. Right. But yes, curiosity is an amazing thing. As humans, it drives us a lot. Right. Mm-hmm. So I have one last question for you guys, and then we'll do the rest of it next time, because in 2 weeks we'll have another meeting for the Push to 1 Star. But you think about what is holding you back from your invites, from getting Star Diamond? What is holding you back? What do you want, and what is holding you back from that? Do you want a rank advancement? Do you want more income? Do you want freedom? What do you want? And what's holding you back? Is it fear of rejection? Because you're going to hear no. Go for no. That's okay. And I kind of want to hear specifically what's holding you back. I've heard several coaches say, I'm scared of success. And I get that.
I think I'm totally freaked out about leading a team. So, because my one coach that I have that is also a diamond, she's kind of gone rock star, like right along with me, but she's surpassed me. So it's hard to kind of be like, do I even know how to teach anybody? Because my upline taught her. So I'm like, oh crap. I don't know how to do this. But then I keep being like, no, I obviously know how to do it. I obviously know how to bring on a coach because I brought on her, and it wasn't like she signed up right away. And she did ask me a lot of questions, and I knew the answers. And I keep having to be like, I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm a Beachbody expert. This, like, not expert, but like, I know how to work the online office. I know what questions a new coach is going to ask. So I'm trying to kind of start doing all the mantra stuff and the, like, just a little bit more belief in myself, because it's taken me a while to kind of go, wow, I just really don't think I can do this. I don't know, that I've realized that that's my inner voice right now. Because I think forever I was like, yeah, I can totally do this. I'm going to rock this business. But on the inside, I'm like, I don't know what to do with like 5 coaches that want to rock the business. So now I'm just trying to be like, yes, I do. And I know what to do with all of them, and and it's all going to be fine.
And if you don't, fake it till you make it, right?
Totally.
Just be like, no, we're going to do this for right now. And then when I figure something else out, then we'll do that, right? Does anybody else have anything that's like holding them back that you can pinpoint?
Last year was a huge learning year for me because my whole team basically fell apart. And I realized that I was investing too much time in key individuals and not continuing to fill the pipe with new people who really get it. So I thought, like, okay, these are the ones that are going to get me there. I'm going to focus all my attention on them. And then when that all fell apart, I was left with nothing. So I totally learned my lesson going through that.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, Jen. As women, especially women, men are the same way, just not as much. And you correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, but I think a lot of times,
Speak for all men,
right? I mean, you're not like all men, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to put you in a box.
No, I'm just teasing.
You know,
don't worry about it.
I gotta be PC, right? Don't call HRK. But typically women are like, okay, they said they wanted this and I really want to help them. Like, we're fixers, we're nurturers, right? And so we get to love these coaches that we bring on, right? Especially if they've been in our challenge group before. We're like, oh, I helped her lose 10 pounds. I helped her reach her goal, and I love her, and she's my soul sister. And, you know, and then we fear hurting their feelings, or, you know, maybe they're not our friend anymore, and things like that. So that's kind of scary. But at the same time, we shouldn't be. You know, if they truly are our friends, it won't matter if they come or go. They're still going to be our friends. And if they're not, bless and release. I know that's easier said than done, but it really is a thing that you need to concentrate on. And then I know that with guys, I mean, I know Andy had a really good friend in the business that's not in the business anymore. And I don't know how your relationship is with him now, but I know you were kind of bugged about it. Are you guys still friends?
We haven't talking since the whole thing, but yeah. It's tough. Yeah.
It stings a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were building stuff together, like a whole big training stuff. And then now it's a girl, but I don't know if that makes sense. She went to another MLM. So now I have to redo a lot of stuff, right? Like, if that's going to be, because I don't gotta protect my audience, you know, so it's just messy. And so what's holding me back is 2 different occasions now I've really intertwined myself with like a power partner, I guess, and the relationship has fallen apart, leading me to rebuild some stuff. So it's me having attachment to other people. And because I find a lot of joy in building this business alongside other people I really respect, and whether they're on my team or not on my team, I just love being around really driven people. And so, you know, sometimes we're pointing in the same direction, and sometimes really driven people, all of a sudden their vectors don't necessarily go parallel or pointing at the same direction. And so I haven't survived those splittings very well. But so
yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. So that makes it hard. Something that holds you back, like success partners that don't stick around, somebody that burns you. That's tough.
Yep.
That's really tough. So think about those things that hold you back, and think about how you can get over those. Whether that means building the business by yourself now. You know, I don't know. I don't know what that one looks like, but there's always a solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where grit comes in. I've been listening to the book Grit, and have you listened to it, Andy?
It's on my queue. I actually downloaded it not too long ago. So
it's great. It's kind of sciencey, but it's really interesting. Like,
cool.
I love it. And I can relate to a lot of things because, yeah. Anyway, I really like it, and that's really what it takes. You know, when you get to your point, because some people would have just been like, "Fine, you know what? It happened twice. I'm done with this. I'm not doing it anymore." That is not a gritty person. So
I'm pretty resilient, but it's like, if things would have gone my way, like, I would have been 5-star by now. But
right?
if I was a 5-star coach, I'd be a 5-star coach, right? So here I am. So
Yeah,
but I'm still
you get
going.
to talk to me.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So our next call is going to be on the 23rd, and I'll send out another message. It's going to be the same link. So make sure that you keep on your SC points. You should all have a Team Cup team. Okay, that's super important. Team Cup is always important, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. So if you've been with us for years, find a way to get excited about it. Okay, it's important. Just find a way to make it exciting. I know some of the top coaches are like, again, blah. Your team gets excited from you. So just know that. Okay, that's my plug for Team Cup. So keep on your SC and go out there and sell some challenge packs, and we'll talk next time about like more in depth with the invites and kind of the process on how to like word and kind of techniques to use and stuff. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay. If you guys need anything, you know that you can message me, right?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Loves. We'll see you guys later. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.